Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my weekly makeup basket. This week has been a little bit interesting when it comes to the makeup I wore because I started working again this week. So last week was new teacher training, and then this week I had my first full days of work. So I actually dipped into my everyday makeup bag quite a few. I don't know if I've posted that either before or after this video. If I've posted it before, I'll make sure to link it up above in the iCard section. So I did pull quite a few things from my everyday makeup bag. That's actually what I use to create the majority of my eye look today. These videos are not shop my stash videos because I do not pre-pick any items that I am going to be wearing. So my weekly makeup baskets are items that I have worn over the past 2 weeks and not necessarily items that I'm going to wear. So let's talk about the items that I have worn over the past 2 weeks. So I have a little bin here with my lip and single eyeshadows, and then the bigger drawer here with my palettes and, you know, base products and things like that. So I don't have any foundations to share with you guys. I pretty much stuck with my powder foundation that I have in my everyday makeup bag, or the MAC Face and Body Foundation. That's what I was wearing. I love those foundations. I've been using them for a bit and I just really like them. They're very light weight foundations. So let's just get right into it. The first palette I pulled out is the original Tartelette palette. This is just an all matte palette. Sorry, I'm trying not to blind you guys. I'm sure you have seen this palette several times on several people's channels and heard several reviews on it, so I'm not going to harp on it too much. But the reason that I actually pulled out this palette is because I was using, even though I do have this in my makeup basket, I didn't really use this week or these past couple weeks, past 2 weeks. This is the Viseart Dark Matte palette. I was using this as kind of my go-to all matte transition palette. I typically have one of those in my makeup basket. So like the week before that, I believe I had pulled out the KVD Shade and Light palette. Then I had used this one because this was a new purchase. And so I decided to pull out the Tartelette one. It is just a great all matte palette. And the reason I have this is because I typically like to use an all matte palette when I'm using it to use in conjunction with my singles. And I decided to pull out this palette right here. This is the BH Cosmetics Galaxy Chic palette. This is a baked eyeshadow palette, and this was really my first introduction to baked eyeshadows. So if you guys have not seen this palette, I'm not sure if it's still available. I picked mine up directly off the BH Cosmetics site, but I believe I've also seen it on the Ulta website. And like I said, these are baked shadows. So at first glance, they look very nice and shimmery. All of these are shimmery eyeshadows, by the way. But you do have to wet these shadows in order to get that nice, like, reflective eyeshadow look. I don't know why they show up so reflective when you swatch them with your fingers. Maybe that's because it blends in with like the oils from your fingers. But if you use a brush to apply this, even if you apply it with like a white base underneath it, like I use the NYX Milk Pencil underneath these, they still don't show up as bright and vibrant as they do swatched on your hand. So I did find myself having to go in with like some MAC Fix Plus, for instance, so that I could really make these eyeshadows pop and be reflective. But other than that, other than the learning curve that I had with these baked eyeshadows, because again, I'd never used baked eyeshadows before, I love them. I absolutely love them. And I did use a lot of these fun colors. So I used this beautiful like corally orange color. I used a lot of these like mint greens. Some of these shadows do kind of blend together. Like when you swatch them, you can definitely see the different tones. But when they're on your eyes, you really can't tell too much of a difference. But honestly, this is such an inexpensive palette that I would say it's completely worth it even if you do have some shadows that do look very similar to one another. And what I like about it is you have a lot of these like pastel colors that are super trendy now. So you have like the pastel purples down here. Like I was saying, you have a lot of these like minty colors, and then you also have some like neutral colors, like some nice neutral browns, some nice like more like rosy colors down here, some fun pops of pop color, cool tone, warm tone. I just really like this palette, and I really loved pairing it with the Tartelette palette. It just made my eye looks so easy, so effortless. I had cool tones and warm tones in the Tartelette palette, so I was able to really come up with a beautiful but very easy look every single time I use both of these palettes together. So those were the two big eyeshadow palettes that I wore. And then I pulled out this little guy. This is the Huda Beauty Smoky Obsessions palette, just as a kind of nice everyday kind of look. I didn't really go super smoky with this, but you do have some nice shimmers in here. You do have some nice mattes in here. I'm not sure if they still have the Smoky Obsessions on. I picked this up off the Sephora website, so I'm not sure if they still have the Smoky Obsessions palette. I do know they still have some of these like little Huda Beauty Obsessions palette, like the original ones. I do believe they still have some of those available, and then of course they have like all the newer pastel and fun color ones, which honestly I don't think are worth it. I would much rather invest in like a ColourPop. I don't even want to say invest, because ColourPop is not that expensive, but I have all of the colorful ColourPop eyeshadow little 9-pan palettes, and I just think that the quality in the ColourPop ones is just as good as the quality in these eyeshadows. I do like this for travel purposes because it is really tiny. I pretty much have everything I need to create like a very nice everyday look with this, and then I also have something that I can create like a smokier evening time look with this, and it has a nice little mirror on here as well. So I just really like these little palettes. So let's move on to some single eyeshadows. So what I am wearing today is probably my new favorite single eyeshadow combo. So on my lids today, I am wearing, I believe, just a basic NARS, like my bronzer. I just used my NARS bronzer in my crease. I did pull in one shade from my everyday eye palette that I have in my everyday makeup bag. I did pull in one shade, which is this shade here, just to deepen up the crease just a little bit. But honestly, I didn't even need that. I just kind of did it because I had some extra time and I wanted to be bougie. But on my lids, I'm wearing the Maybelline Color Tattoo. This is a very old school product. I feel like everybody used to use these products back in the day. I've seen so many of these in people's project pans. This one specifically is in Bad to the Bronze. This is one of the more like popular shades that they had. And I love these color tattoos because they just won't budge. So they're really great bases if you want to apply some type of glitter on top of it, or some type of sheer eyeshadow, or some type of like glitter topper. And I feel like those topper sheer eyeshadows are very, very popular. Like I recently bought a Charlotte Tilbury little quad, and all 4 of those shades were created to be toppers. So these bases are just absolutely great. Specifically the Maybelline Color Tattoo formula is just really great as a base because it will not budge and it sets. So when you do apply that topper, it's not going to move the base around. It's gonna give it just enough of a hint of color. Like I feel like this isn't too strong of a color. It does have like this really nice, like I would say like a taupey bronze color. Just enough of a hint of color that it's good to work with some of those more sheer bases, but not too overly pigmented where it's just going to completely overpower the other eyeshadow that you put on top of it. So I love this. I'm probably gonna pick up another one of these because mine has been revived so many times. It is a little bit on the older side and it is a cream shadow, but I really, really love these Maybelline Color Tattoos. But what I put on top of it is this from Butter London. These are the Glazin eyeglosses, and I picked mine up in the shade Mermaid, and the reason I picked this up is because it is on sale on the Ulta website. Now I had gotten a little set of these guys, I would say for like Christmas, like maybe last Christmas or like the Christmas before that, whenever these came out, because these came out, I want to say like all of these like jelly type of products came out all at the same time. It was like a trend. and all of the little minis that I had of these completely dried out. So I did like them, but I didn't like the fact that Butter Lunges is expensive and they dried out so quickly. And there is no way to really prevent these from drying up. It's just gonna dry up no matter what you do. Like I had put them in like little plastic bags because I noticed that they were kind of drying out, and that didn't work. I tried storing them upside down, but I love this mermaid shade. It's just a very nice topper, and this is what I'm wearing on top of the Maybelline Color Tattoo, and it's just an absolutely gorgeous, shifty little topper that it really pulls out it works well with the brown base. So you have kind of like this icy blue / purpley base. It's just really pretty, this mermaid shade, and I believe it is still on sale on the Ulta website, and I would definitely pick it up off the Ulta website only because it is on sale. I would never pay full price for this product, especially knowing how quickly it's going to dry out. I want to say mine didn't even last longer. I don't even think they lasted longer than 3 months before they started drying out. And that could just be because they were minis and they weren't like this full-size packaging, but we'll see. I've really been loving this, and I feel like this is going to be like my go-to everyday combo. Okay, and I have one more eye product I want to talk about. These are the ColourPop gel eyeliners. I just want to talk about these because there is a bundle on the ColourPop website where you get like the entire set of gel eyeliners. And the color I wore this week, and I actually wore it with like that orange shadow from the BH line. This is an Unce. It's this absolutely gorgeous, bright, corally color. I would say it definitely pulls a little bit peachier than what you see in the packaging. Like I feel like it's a nice like peachy coral, maybe like a strawberry coral is the best way to describe it. But I love these guys. They really do set in the waterline, and I feel like the formulation of these new like this, because they've repackaged these, and I feel like the formulation has changed just a little bit so that they're even better and they set even faster. I do have watery eyes, and my bottom, the eyeliner that I wear in my waterline, it goes away kind of quickly. Even if I wear like a high-end eyeliner like the Marc Jacobs or the gel eyeliners, those still don't last very long in my waterline. So I would definitely say these are worth it. And I think if you have some of the older, if you've tried some of the older ColourPop formulation, I think the new formula is a lot better. I know a lot of people are super into like graphic liners, so these are very popular. But I would pick up the set because I feel like the set is already discounted, and then on top of that they run sales all the time. So I really love these. I'm not going to harp on it too much, so I'm just going to move on from that. So let's talk about some face products that I was using. I decided to pull a palette in. So what I'm trying to do is pull a palette in and pull some singles in for almost every single product that I have. So I have my eyeshadows, and then I have my single eyeshadows. I have my face palettes, and then I have some single face items. So I decided to pull in the Benefit Cheekathon palette. This is an older palette. I know this specific palette is no longer available, and I kind of like changed mine up a little bit. So here used to be like a brush, and I widened the little space, and I decided to put this blush in. I cannot remember what the name of this blush is called. I believe it's called the Hervana blush, but I honestly don't remember the name of the blush. It's a little bit more of a cool tone natural blush. It also has Coralista, it has Dallas, it has Dandelion, it has Hula, and it has Rockateur. So it has some of the more classic blushes in here, and I really liked pulling out this palette. I definitely feel like the quality of the blushes in this palette is not quite the same as the ones in the standalone blushes, but I kind of like that because I feel like the standalone blushes are a little too pigmented, and these are a little bit more on the sheer side, especially the Hula bronzer. I feel like the Hula bronzer is just a little too dark and it doesn't blend out as well in the box set, but this Hoola bronzer is absolutely beautiful, the one in these boxes. So I haven't picked up any of the newer ones because there's a lot of blushes in there that I already either have in singles or that I'm just not going to use. Let's talk about the bronzers that I used this week. So I pulled out 2 single bronzers in addition to the Hoola bronzer that is in the palette. I pulled out a more shimmery one and a matte one that's just kind of been my trend over the summer months. So the matte one that I have here is the Radiant Matte Bronzing Powder. This is from the MAC Summer Collection, I believe it is, and this one is in Beijing Beauty. I think this is the lighter one of the two and the one that's not as red, because the other one I feel like is a little deeper and has a little bit more of a red undertone. Nothing much to say about this bronzer. It's just a really nice bronzer, nice formula. MAC just does really nice bronzers in my opinion. So I've been loving that, and I really love the packaging of it too. And I pulled out the Baked Mediterranean bronzer in Matte Golden Goddess. This is hands down my all-time favorite bronzer. I have to stop myself from using this bronzer. So I do have a little bit deeper of a bronzer in this formula, and it's a little bit more warmer. This is just a really nice neutral bronzer, and it has just a hint of shimmer to it. Not glitter, shimmer. It's just absolutely stunning. It just gives enough of a bronze, very natural. And this is actually the bronzer that I used for my sister's wedding on her. So this is a really nice bridal bronzer in my opinion, because it does have that really nice sheen to it. It just gives you a nice glowy look without looking too shimmery. Formula is really nice. It wears her a really long time, and she was sweating bullets out there because the Keys, she got married for St. Patrick's Day, not this year, last year, in the Keys. So you know it was humid, you know it was warm, and this bronzer just, it just looks so beautiful on her. And I use it on a lot of bridesmaids too, because I did a lot of the bridesmaids makeup. Okay, let's talk about cheek products. Let me talk about the blush. So I did buy this Tarte Beach Cheeks cream blush in Ocean Girl. I've just been really into cream blushes lately. I feel like a lot of people have been into cream blushes lately, and that's just kind of like translated into the things that I've been picking up. This is just a really nice cream blush from Tarte, and it's nice and sheer. There's a swatch of it right there. It's nice and sheer, but yet buildable. It gives a really nice flush, and it's not sticky. It blends well. It doesn't like disrupt the foundation or anything like that, and I feel like it has just a slight sheen to it. I haven't heard that many people talking about this blush, and I actually ran into it on by coincidence on the Ulta website. So I would definitely recommend this to anybody who's looking for a good cream blush. It is a little bit on the expensive side, but I feel like Tarte blushes are a little bit on the expensive side, but I don't know, I just really like it. I think it's still cheaper than the Fenty Beauty ones, and you get a lot more product than the little itty bitty Fenty Beauty blushes, and the packaging is so cute. So highlighters, I pulled out a little palette because the Cheekathon palette doesn't have any highlighters in it. So I pulled out this Nikkie Tutorials highlighting trio. I like to purchase the Ofra trios because I feel like you get more value this way, because you're gonna get 3 highlighters for the price of 1. You're like, with Ofra highlighters, they're just so intense. Like, these are intense. They're so intense that you're only gonna need a little bit of these highlighters, and it's gonna go a long way. So I think my favorite of this trio is the one in the middle called Glazed Donut. I think that was a little bit more popular of a highlighter from Ofra. I feel like my hands are so dry, so it's probably not going to swatch all that well, but that's Glazed Donut. Yeah, you could definitely see how reflective it is. So then the other highlighter I pulled in, I think this is a very unique highlighter, and unfortunately I'm not sure if Model's Own is still on the Ulta website, but I had purchased this off the Ulta website years ago. So this is the Sculpt and Glow highlighter palette in Golden Sand 01. This is a very deceptive name in my opinion, because when you read this you would think it's going to be a more goldeny highlighter, but this is actually like a peachy pinky highlighter. It's just so beautiful. There's a swatch of it right there. It's just a gorgeous, like, light peachy shade. I think it's going to be a very nice shade for a lot of people. I didn't hear a lot of people talking about these highlighters, and I feel like it has a very nice formula. As you can see, it's very, very reflective. It lasts a relatively long time on the skin. And I just didn't hear that many people talking about this highlighter. Like I said, this is the Sculpt and Glow highlighter palette in Golden Sand 01. I did have the other one and I ended up decluttering it because I just think the shade and the undertone of this highlighter is just so much more unique. That is it, I believe, for my complexion products and the eyeshadows that I was wearing. So let's get into the lip products. So I honestly was reaching a lot for glosses this week, like I have been every other week. So the peachy eyeshadow that I wore the day I did like that peachy look, I pulled these two out. So I have the Wet n Wild gel lip liner in the shade Doll in Love Again, and it's just a really pretty peachy gel liner for your lips, gel lip liner. And I don't hear a lot of people talking about this formula. This formula was really great, and I don't know why they didn't expand the line. I have a few shades in this gel formula, and I think it's very smooth. I think it sets and it lasts a long time, and this is honestly the ideal formula for me to wear underneath a gloss. So I can not only line my lips, I completely fill them in, and then I apply a gloss on top. This gloss doesn't really need a lip liner underneath it. This is the NYX Intense Butter Gloss. These are very pigmented glosses. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen it. And this is a gorgeous, like, bright orange color, leaning a little bit more towards the coral. But it definitely leans more coral when you apply this lip liner underneath it. And I don't know if I said the shade. This is in the shade Banana Split. I still do wear a lip liner underneath the NYX butter glosses and the Intense butter glosses, just because I want it to wear a little bit longer. So it doesn't need a lip liner in the sense that it's going to like bleed outside of your lips, but it definitely is not going to last as long if you just wear it on its own. So I always pair it with a lip liner, and this was the lip liner combo that I decided to pair with. I wore this lip combo quite a bit this week. This is the Bite Beauty lip pencil in Chablis. I don't remember. I think I got this in a duo. I use this in my everyday makeup bag because I like the fact that I don't have to sharpen this lip pencil. I just scroll it up and down, and it's just a really nice, like, pinky, it's like a mauvey pinky color. It feels a little brighter on my lips than what it looks like on the tube. It is what I'm wearing right now. This dries down a little bit on the satin side, so it doesn't dry down completely matte. So for that reason, it does have some pretty good lasting power. But I have been applying the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb in the shade Fussy on top of it. So that's what I'm wearing on top of this, that lipstick today. And I just really, really like the Fenty Beauty gloss bombs. I feel like everybody talks about them, but haven't picked up the universal shade. I had a teeny tiny little sample of it and I used it completely up. And that's why I decided to pick up the Give Me Some More lips, like the lip gloss set, because it had a full size of one of the gloss bombs, and I wanted to try this Fussy shade because I feel like I have a lot of clear glosses and I wanted one that had a little bit more color to it, but still sheer enough that I could wear on top of like nude lipsticks or pinky lipsticks and not disrupt the color too much. So that's what I'm wearing on top of my lipperonis today. I've also worn the Gloss Bomb on top of this Gerard Cosmetics lip pencil in the color Share. Honestly, I don't care about the brand too much. It's just a nice, like, nudie natural lip color, a little bit on the darker side, and I just really, really like wearing these colors underneath the Gloss Bomb. I just feel like it makes the color or the gloss last a little bit longer. So I just like pairing glosses with lip liners, you guys. So the last gloss slash lip liner combo that I have, I recently picked this up from Alamar Cosmetics. I don't know if it's Alamar or Alamar. I don't know. I say Alamar because I'm Hispanic. I picked up her volume 2 from La Reina del Caribe collection. And then I picked up the new, what's it called? I keep wanting to say quinceañera, but it's not quinceañera. Spanglish. It's the Spanglish collection. And the volume 2 had been out for a while, so I was really excited that it was restocked when her Spanglish collection came out. And these also came back in stock because I had been eyeing these and they were just out of stock for the longest. So this lip pencil is called Coqueta, and it's from the Las Desnudas collection. And I just love the play on word, like this nude, like at nude, like the color nude. Anyways, I love their play on words, and I've just been on the hunt for the perfect like brownie colored lip product. So if it's a brown, like a 90s brown or even darker, I have been picking it up, and I don't care what formula it is, lip gloss, lip liner, lipstick, liquid lipstick, I've been picking it up. So I really love the color of this lip liner. And then I also picked up the lip gloss from that collection, and this is in the shade Divina. This gloss is really nice, and I also really like that it doesn't have a scent to it. I feel like a lot of glosses have like some type of vanilla scent to it. Lately, my snifferoni has been just extremely sensitive. So there's the gloss right there. It is very opaque. It is kind of like a MAC lip gloss, but not as sticky. Like not as sticky as a MAC lip gloss. And I just really, again, love this color. I feel like the color of the lip gloss is a little bit warmer, and I feel like the lip liner is a little bit on the cooler side. So you can wear them together, but it's nice. I have two different shades of brown here. So those are all of the products in my weekly makeup baskets. Those are all of the products that I wore for the past 2 weeks and my thoughts and opinions on them. Leave me a comment down below if anything I talked about today, you guys like or don't like, or maybe have some tips or tricks for anything that didn't work out for me, or perhaps there's some products that you think I might like checking out. Leave that down below in the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it or at least found it entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I am trying to post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays with a bonus video on Sundays, but that may change with the new school year starting back up. So again, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.